Welcome back, y'all. Before we get started with this tip video, make sure to hit that big red subscribe button and the bell right next to it to stay notified with what's upcoming next. So what you need to get started is some rubbing alcohol, some painter's tape or electrical tape. We're going to be using twigs and leaves, obviously, for the layout. And 3 cans of Rust-Oleum camouflage paint cans. Now we're going to use earth brown, army green, and the last color today is khaki. Also, we're going to need a trusty can of Rust-Oleum double clear matte coat paint just to kind of seal that in and make sure that our paint job is protected. Now we're going to be camouflaging a monster here. We're using a King's Arm lower receiver with an M16G1 upper receiver. Now before we get started, obviously what I like to do is kind of lay out the leaves the way I like around the rifle where I'm going to be camouflaging or spray painting the actual rifle itself. Now you guys are free to lay out the leaves any which way, shape, or form. Some people use the sponge effect. I prefer leaves just because I'm out in the woods a lot when it comes to outdoors. So what I'm trying to do today is kind of mirror the brush and how it moves in the wind. This way it's less likely that my rifle is going to spot out as opposed to like a black solid rifle. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the dark earth brown as a base, because again I want to mirror more so the outdoors than I do a light brush. And since we're playing heavy in the woods, again I want to get that dark, nice shadowy effect. So I'm going to lay down the earth brown first, and notice how I'm going at an angle. Again, the point of this was to actually kind of mirror the effect that a moving brush in the wind would, how that would look on a rifle. So I'm stroking it in a angle, as you can see here. Making sure that I'm covering pretty fairly close to the leaves themselves. Again, I want to get a dark base all around. Now before I got started, I made sure that I sealed using the duct tape all around the open ports, including the mag well and any open exposed port that's might paint over the barrel itself. I don't want any of the paint getting into the internal components of the rifle. So you're going to finish off with some rubbing alcohol, get that dirt and particles out. After 5 to 10 minutes, you let the paint dry and you flip the rifle over. You're going to lay the leaves out the way you like on the opposite end. And of course, repeat the process. I'm going to still be using the Rust-Oleum Dark Earth. You can see here it's a matte color. It's made not to shine out in the brush and stick your rifle out. Now you guys can go with any other paint that's out there. Just make sure that it's matte finish and not a glossy finish. You definitely don't want to be exposed when the sun hits that rifle at the right angle. I'm going to speed this process up. So now I have a dark base. I'm going to use my army green Rust-Oleum paint, again in a matte finish. Pop that top off. And I'm going to apply it with the same effect. Again, I'm going to be going as directed, about 5 to 10 inches away from the rifle. I'm not going to be heavy on the nozzle because I want light green effects here. Now I'm not going to go as heavy as I did with the brown, because obviously again you want to mirror the green foliage that's out in the brush. So just very, very lightly, maybe once or twice throughout the gun, stripe at an angle, and there you go. Give it one more little dose there. I feel like Bob Ross at the moment, painting some happy trees. And let that dry. Now I'm going to bring out the khaki color. Now I'm not going to go heavy on this. This is a very light paint. I just want to kind of mirror the foliage that's exposed to the sun. So I'm just going to zip it at an angle. Very, very lightly. Oops, that's a little too heavy. See, very, very light. Maybe once, twice, maybe even 3 times. You don't want to go heavy at all. You're trying to mirror the foliage that's out in the sun. One more time. All right. guys. So now flipped it over and lay out my foliage the way I like on the opposite end. You can see that it's already starting to come together, the two pieces. Now again, folks, you can be as creative as you like. The whole point is that you want to bring out your creativity. I'm just showing you one example here of how you can camouflage and spray paint your rifle or your firearm. So now I'm going to go over this with the light green as well. Again, very, very lightly. I'm not trying to overdo it on the army green here. Making sure it's at an angle. Give it one more little dose of the brown. Cover some of my army green up. And voila, you see it's already starting to come together. Making sure that I'm hitting the underarms. One more time with the dark brown, trying to mask it in. Oops. Let's try to cover that one up. And we'll go over with the brown. One more time. Blend that in. Of course, what you do on one side, you're going to want to do on the top and on the other. Making sure that it fully dries, guys. Now the last thing you're going to want to do is going to apply that trusty Rust-Oleum Ultra Cover Matte Clear Finish to protect the paint. Now I'm going to brush on through this. You're going to want to do at least 2 layers of this protective coat, making sure that it dries thoroughly on each application. Now you do this again because you want to make sure that you're not going to get any dirt or dust in there. Of course, you want to protect the paint. And here's the finished product. And there she is. What a beauty. Ready to go for Saturday's Zulu 24 event in upstate New York. We're going to be playing an Operation Pedal 2 for all you who are in the tri-state area. Come and join us. Next week, I'm taking a hiatus. I want to wish you all a great Memorial Day weekend.